Hello everyone, my name is Benjamin and welcome back to BlabenSolutions. In today's video tutorial, we will be looking at how to create a 31st night banner. So something like this. And this video is coming up shortly. Before we begin this video, let me use this opportunity to say a very big thanks to you for clicking this video. If this is your first time of being in here, this is BlabenSolutions and we are into the production of graphic design video tutorials. So if you think videos of such nature will be of great benefit to you, then I encourage you to hit on the subscribe button if you've not done so. Like the video as well if you find it very interesting, and also share your thoughts by leaving them in the comment box below. If you've already done all these, thank you so much for doing that. And if you're already a part of this lovely and wonderful family, thank you so much for showing up once again. Without any further ado, let's quickly jump right into the video and let's begin. Alright, so before, I would like to show you access to the resource file. So we have this image, we have these icons, and we have one lens flare that I'll be using. So quickly, let's jump into the world of Photoshop. All right, so there's a Photoshop, and what we're going to do first is let's create a working space. So we're going to create a new document. So come to file, click on new, and let's choose. We will be working in inches as well, so this should be in inches for us, and let's name this 31st night banner. All right, so you know banners should be in feet. All right, the measurement of banner should be in feet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this in inches. I'm not going to do it in feet, but if you want to do it in feet, it is the size you have here times 12. That will give you the feet size. All right, so with the size, I'm going to be working with 10 by 6 inches. 10 by 6 inches. All right, so the resolution I'm going to well, 72 is okay. 72 is okay, but if we want a sharper kind of work, then I would prefer 300. So 300 resolution, good. Then let's click create in here. Perfect. So we have our document ready and set for us to continue the work. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to be applying the background here. So I'm going to be applying a gradient background, and so what I'm going to do is come to the adjustment fill and click on it, and let's choose gradient. Then in here I'm going to just click in between them, and I've already created this gradient file or this gradient fill, so I'm going to be using this gradient fill. This is how it is. So for the left side, I have this hexa code 000223 000223. So as I showed you the resource file, you can as well download it and practice. A link will be left inside the description box. You can download the resource file, practice your hands on it, and you can send the practice or the finished work to me via my Instagram handle. So continuing, we saw the hexa code for the left side, and now that of the right side is 00443 000443. All right, so that is that for the gradient fill, but we are not done setting the background yet. What I'm going to do is I want to apply a color, a blue, kind of a sea blue or a lighter blue touch to the background in here. So I'm going to be using a brush, my brush tool. Then I'm going to be creating a new layer on top of the gradient layer that I just did. So by clicking the new, what do you call it, the new layer icon here, we have this new layer created for us. All right, so let me rename this and name this brush fill. Good. Then I'm going to be selecting my brush tool and I'm going to use the square bracket, the closed square bracket, to increase the size of the brush. Right, so something this way is okay by me. Then we are going to choose the color. Well, this is the hexacode that I'll be using, 358EEB. That is the hexacode I'll be using for the lighter blue that I was talking about. Right, so we just come in here and just paste something or click in here. So now that our background is set, the next thing we are going to do is we are going to import the picture of the preacher. So let's come back to our resources and we are going to do the importation of our preacher here. So all right, so I've already taken off the background, the background image. How should I put it? I've already deleted the background from that. So well, I'm just have to set this image or this layer on top of the brush that we just created. So I'm just going to have this way, and there you have it, something like that. So now let's create the name of the preacher. So we are going to work with the ellipse tool. So hold your shift key and draw something like this. Right, good. So I'm not going to choose this color, but well, I'm going to apply a gradient color on this ellipse tool and maybe apply an outer stroke of white to that. So let's right click this or come to the add layer style down there and let's choose gradient overlay. Good. So I have a set of gradient overlay that I created myself. So that is that. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to just right click, let's click OK here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to copy the layer style. So now that I've copied the layer style, I'll just apply the layer style to each layer that I think needs the dark golden style gradient. Okay, so I'll just have to paste that. I wouldn't have to go way back that process that I went through again to do the choosing of the gradient color. Good. So well, in here I'm going to be applying the stroke as well. So add stroke. So add layer style again. Then we can choose a whitish stroke with size 13 pixels. Then that is it's an outer. So you see an outside, not an inside, but rather we are doing an outside stroke. Good. So let's click OK here, and we have this perfectly looking as we can see. Then I'm going to type the name of the preacher. I'm going to use a font by name Lemon Milk. So with my character panel, I can just type Lemon Milk in here. I kind of like this font, Lemon Milk. I really like it. Most of my work I use this Lemon Milk a lot. So the name is James Manson. So I'm going to be choosing this darker color, then reduce the size. Then maybe turn this to center alignment. So I'm going to put this in here this way. Then I want you to be typing the Reverend using a font Amarillo. Then I'm going to be picking this in here this way. Let me increase the size of James. So now we are done with the importation of the picture and the name. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to be typing the crossover, the name of the church, and crossover and the date, right? So let me do that. So with the crossover, I'm going to be using a font by name Kenyan Coffee. So let me change the color so we can easily have a preview of what we are doing. So cross, it should be in caps. So cross, different type layer. So cross, then I'm going to be typing another one. over. Good. Since we are going to use the same font style, I'm going to select both layers and I'm going to change that to Kenyan coffee. So Kenyan coffee. Then I'm going to increase the size to, as for increasing the size, I'm going to do that one will be bigger, so the cross will be bigger, then the over will kind of be underneath the cross. All right, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to make this seem 3D like. I'm not going to create a 3D, but I'm going to make it seem a 3D like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the layers, the text layers that we have in here, and I'm just going to change the color and shift it a bit so it looks more 3D. Good. So with the cross, let me begin with a cross. But let me group these layers, that of the name and the picture. So with the cross, let's duplicate this. So Control J on Windows to duplicate this. So let's use the down layer, that is the layer beneath the copy. So I'm going to change the color to something this. Then I'm going to shift it forward a bit. Then let me say drop it a bit. So shift it forward once more, and that is it. So I'm going to do same for the over. So this text looks more of 3D text. So as you can see, more of 3D text, right? Good. So let me select this layers, this type layers as well, and group them as well. Control J. So I'm just going to name this cross over text. Good. Now whilst creating the background, I left one thing out, so let me bring it on board. That is the lens flare. So I'm just going to hold and drag this to Photoshop. Alright, so I'm going to be dropping this beneath the brush, so this should look more of this. Alright, sorry, I'm rather pulling the brush effect that I created instead of the lens flare. Alright, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be applying a blend mode to this layer. So come into the blend mode in here, and let's choose screen, or let me say soft light. Okay, so screen will do. So let's use screen, and let me shift this a bit. Let me bring this here a bit. Alright, so this should be here a bit. Well, this looks good, but you can see that the edges of the lens flare is showing, right? So let's add a layer mask to this, and let's brush that portion off. Good. So this is the layer mask. Let's add it here. Let's use our brush tool and make sure your foreground color and your background color are both black and white. So the only colors you should see is black and white, not orange and pink, not red and green. Should be black and white. If let's say one color is different, just hit on the D key and it turns your color back to normal black and white. So if it's on white, means it's revealing, but if it's on black, means it is hidden. Okay, so currently mine is on the what do you call it, the foreground color is on white, so meaning it will reveal. So let's turn that to black, right? So you can choose to use this arrow, the double-sided arrow like this, and get something like this, or you can choose to use the X key on your keyboard to swipe between this colors, right? The foreground thing. So let me reduce the size of my brush by using the left square bracket. Then I can just left click and drag to white. Whilst you are on the layer max, right, then you can easily do the wiping. If you don't get it, don't worry, I have a video, a full video on how to use the layer mask, and the link will be up here somewhere, so make sure to check that video after you've completed this tutorial. Right, great. Okay, so we've done that. We've nicely wiped that area off. Let me type the name of the church. I'm going to still use the font lemon milk, so I'm going to type the name of the church, which is Family House Chapel International. So I'm going to use a font type by name lemon milk, and maybe the size should be 6. Then I'm going to space out the track and I'm going to send it back to 0. 6 is a bit smaller, so let me make it 9. And then I'm going to type Family House. I'm going to be duplicating this, so my Alt key, then I drag and leave this one. So I'm going to set this one up here this way, so, and I'm going to be spacing out the track, and that is in between this Family House. So you could see the 9 was bigger, so let's make this 8. Great. So let's align this with the cross and send it up a bit. Then so with the cross, I can shift the cross. Where is my cross layer? Cross vertex, right? Good. So let's hold the shift key and let's put this up a bit. All right. Then so that we can have access to some of the stuffs beneath here. All right, so we are not done with the typing of the what do you call it, the crossover text. I think we are done with that one, but there's some other stuff that I need to do. So I'm going to be using my rectangle tool, and I'm going to be drawing a shape of this size this way in here, and I'm going to be applying the gradient color to it. So this style is gradient. So remember we copied the layer style of the gradient, so I'm going to just say paste layer style, and we have this in here. But I'm going to be, what do you call it, I'm going to take round the bottom, so I'm going to be using something like this, so 60. Then let me do that for this as well. Oh, sorry, 80 rather. Then I'm going to be typing 2021, and I'm going to leave it on top of this. So 20, then the next one, sorry, what happened? Alright. So 20, then enter, brings me to 21. So we're going to increase the size of this, something visible enough. So 20, but with this I'm not going to be using this font style. I'm going to be using a different font style, but let's see something. If it works well, we can still maintain this font style. So I just want to shift that up there, spacing in between them up a bit. So let's use the bold font. Let me make this way, then we have this one this way. So let me take it back to medium. I think I like the bold style. All right, so 2021. We'll take it this way, right? So now the next thing is I'm going to be typing 31st. So December 31st. December. So that will be here. So let's reduce the size of the December. Then the next thing I'm going to type, it will be the date, that 31st. So December 31st, 31. So 31, 31st. Then I'm going to type another thing, which is the first ST. I don't want this to be in caps. Maybe the S can be in uppercase. Right. Then the T in lowercase. Right. So I'm going to be changing this to the 31st to Amarillo, and that of the 31 to also Amarillo. Then I'm going to increase the font size. So I'm going to be placing this here this way and reduce the size of the I need the S to be in small case. Alright, so small case, yeah. Then maybe reduce the size of that to something smaller this way. Then maybe I can put this in here this way. Alright, so that is that for the December 31st. Now we are done with this part of the typing as well. Then the next part that I will be looking much into is the time and the venue, right? So the time and the venue. So that will lead us to the importation of the icons, the time and venue icons, right? So let's hold both icons and let's drag this icons in here. Right, good. So let me reduce the size to the smallest possible size that I think will best suit this design. So I'm going to be applying the layer style to the this layers as well. So right click and let's choose paste layer style. Right click and let's choose paste layer style. Good. So always the venue should come last, or otherwise the time should come before the venue. Alright, so I'm going to align this guys to be on the same straight line. Good. Then I'm going to be typing out the time and the venue using the font Kenyan Coffee. Good. So my font style Kenyan Coffee, this should be in caps. It makes it look nice, so I prefer it being in caps. Then I'm going to choose the font. Then I'm going to say the time is 8 p.m. prompt, but I would like to make some emphasis on the 8 p.m. so highlighted them, and I'm going to apply this color to it. So okay, so now that we are done with the time type, and I'm going to duplicate this and do that for the venue as well. So Ctrl J will help me to do the duplication. So the venue is Hacho, behind the market. So I only need emphasis on the Hacho. So I'm going to make the other text white. Whilst leaving the Hacho as it is. Then the final thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be working on the last part, which says Jesus is calling for you. So you don't necessarily have to write Jesus is calling for you and for me. You can put something there, something powerful, like a night to remember. Or you can also say come and your life will never be the same again. Or you hit that red button and subscribe to the channel. Alright guys, so this brings us to the end of today's video tutorial. If you find it interesting, please do well to give this video a like. I really appreciate that a lot. Do well to share your thoughts by leaving them in the comment box below. And please don't forget to send me your finished work via my Instagram page. Until I come your way next time, this is still BlabenSolutions, and thank you so much for watching, and have a blissful, happy New Year.